Hey gang, Chad Madden here, and recently I was doing some research on behalf of some of our owners who are saying things like, I'm really looking to automate my practice now because I want to sell in 2 to 5 years. And some have been in business for 5 years, some have been in business for 35 years. So whether you're a newbie and you're looking to exit one day and planning for that now, or you've been in practice for a while and you're looking to exit here and go into retirement in a few years, I think this is really good information. So this came from an interview with Paul Welk, as many of you know. Paul has done a lot of work, APTA, PPS, right here in Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania Physical Therapy Association, also has written an Impact. Most of us know who he is. He's an attorney with Tucker and Arnsberg, really sharp guy. And so this is just one excerpt of the interview, but I thought it was the most valuable part and I wanted to share it with you. So he said, number one, like as you're looking to exit, if that is you, first thing to consider is your EBITDA. Most of that in, layperson, non-CPA, private practice, physical therapy terms, that's basically our profitability. Now, there's a lot of factors that go into that, and I don't want to spend too much time on that because there's a lot of information out there. But for most people that are in this situation, like once they get past EBITDA, like all this other stuff is kind of a mystery. Like I wouldn't even know where to start. Like where do you go to sell your practice? Like, do you call a broker right away? Like there's a lot of confusion going on, but most of us know that, hey, there's something called EBITDA out there. I'm going to figure out what that acronym stands for, and that's related to my profitability, which determines the value of my business. The next thing is that there's a multiple, and I didn't know about this other than I knew that there was some sort of multiple, and basically smaller practices, so smaller EBITDA. So let's say, your profitability of your clinic is $100,000 a year. That is going to have a different multiple and it's going to be like 2.5 to 3 times at best your EBITDA versus somebody who's a huge practice, let's say with a $10 million EBITDA. Very, very different, and they trade at different multiples. So learn that. The next thing is, the third most important thing is the willingness to remain. Like if it's an owner who just wants to sell and then check out, obviously that decreases the value of the business, and especially if you're still doing a lot of patient care. If you're doing the bulk of the patient care and you're not willing to remain, you're going to have difficulty justifying any value to your private practice at all, or you could. Next thing is number of locations. Pretty self-explanatory. More locations you have, in general, more diversified you are with regards to your geographic area that you're covering, and that being number of locations, not necessarily speaking about demographics, but in that case, you're going to be more valuable. All things considered, private practice with 10 locations usually is going to have a better value than somebody with 3, all other things being equal. Desirability of location, that's pretty self-explanatory. Diversity of the referral sources, this is a really big one. We talk about it a lot in Breakthrough PT Marketing, but like simply relying on like one orthopedic surgeon group, not good at all for the value of your business. Relying on over 200 referral sources and physicians only make up 25% of your business, much more valuable with regards to your practice. Next one is accounts receivable and aging, pretty much a billing function. If you have a lot of money that's out there and it's old and you're never going to be able to collect on it because it's due 120 days ago, not good for your practice. Owner reputation, again, pretty self-explanatory. Your staff, so if you have huge staff turnover and you're having to hire a new PT every 2 months, definitely not as valuable as if you've had staff in place with good integrity and good reliability and minimal like put yourself in the shoes of the buyer. If they have to come in and train everybody because you just hired a whole bunch of new grads, not nearly as valuable as if you've had staff in place for a while. Non-competes in place, this was surprising to me. I'm very anti-non-compete, just if I can be politically incorrect for a second without talking about politics, but I disdain non-competes. However, they can be valuable to to the buyer. And I never even really thought of that, and we still won't do them. But we'll just never do non-competes. Next is years in business. Obviously, the longer you've been in business, the more of a track record you have, the more valuable your business can be considered. Profitability, trending, if you're growing or if you're crashing, obviously that's going to influence the value of your business. Number 13 is payer mix. So, if you're simply relying on one type of insurance company as the bulk, at least in our area for a while, it was like Geisinger. So if 75% of my payer mix is Geisinger, and they just drop from paying whatever we're billing for based on the our insurance contract, and now they're capping it at $58 a visit. Well, that dramatically reduces the value of the company. Next one is growth opportunity. So if you're in an area where there's again opportunity for growth, maybe building out other clinics, expanding in square footage, influence, impact in your community, obviously that can be a consideration. And the last one that we discussed was EMR platform. So like if you're not using EMR at all, and the purchasing company now has to invest in implementing and training EMR, that can be a consideration. Or if you're using a different EMR platform, again, that transition costs time and money. So they were the 15 15 variables to consider if you are selling in 2 to 5 years per Paul Welk. And by the way, I'm going to build out a whole module with some really cool stuff in it all around this topic. I just wanted you to have the list right now. And by the way, if you are, so I'm not a broker, I'm not involved in that in any way at all. But for myself, somebody shared a book with me like 2 or 3 years ago. It's an awesome book on the idea of selling. Like most of us in private practice, our business isn't really worth anything. At least not nearly as much as we think. It's our blood, sweat, and tears. We're emotionally attached. Like this is our baby. Like most of us kind of have that thought process. We don't really think about it as a business owner. But anyhow, I stumbled upon this really good book a few years back that a friend gave to me. I read it, completely changed my life with regards to these factors. And it's true for any business, let alone a healthcare service-based business like private practice PT like you and I are in. But if you're interested in that book, just shoot me an email. It's chad@breakthroughptmarketing.com, and I'll send you a copy of the book. It's absolutely free. No strings attached or anything like that. chad@breakthroughptmarketing.com, in the subject line, type 2 to 5 years, and I'll know what you're talking. 2 to 5 year book, and I'll know what you're talking about. Thanks, guys, and I'll talk with you next time.